start with State versus Hines.
Your Honor, this is State of Washington versus Zachary Hines, cause number 25100.
Malicheski, hang on just a second, I'm gonna log in.
That's okay, Your Honor.
You know, I'm here. Okay, go ahead.
This is State of Washington versus Zachary Hines, cause number 251003401. BP Tiffany Yermachensky for the state, as well as BP Miriam Norman for the state to my right. Mr. Hines is present in custody, not restrained, and represented by counsel, Mr. Hogabaum. We're here today for sentencing.
Hogabaum.
Your Honor, good afternoon. Ryan Hogabaum on behalf of Zachary Douglas Hines. We are prepared to proceed to sentencing. Thank you.
Good. Ms. Malicheski?
And Your Honor, the state would first move to vacate count 2, driving while under the influence, because it arises out of the same course of conduct as count 1, particular homicide, driving while under the influence. We do have members of Mr. Trammell's family present. 2 of them would like to speak and address the court. They also requested that you get to see a video of Mr. Trammell's memorial. That video is about 1 minute and 30 seconds long. They requested that Your Honor see it today.
Good. Mr. Hogabaum, any objection to you vacating count 2?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay.
The state provided me the video in advance, and I don't wish to raise an objection to that.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Kids are running down for the funeral. And the grass all smells the same as the day you broke your arm swinging on that kid out on the grid. You bail him out, never said a thing about Jesus or the way he living. She'd see now, he's proud, he's thinking, he's soul. God, you come in.
And with your honor, I would like to hear from the victim's family prior to the parties.
Yes.
And she is on Zoom.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Are you able to turn your video on?
I'll try here, yeah.
Okay,
Okay. All right.
go ahead.
Thank you.
Hey, go,
Good afternoon.
ma'am,
I'm sorry.
Hang on one second. Just tell me who you are and can you spell your name?
Oh, okay. My name is Anna Trammell. It's spelled ANNATRAMMELL.
Great, thank you. You can go ahead with what you'd like to say.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Judge, and to the court. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of my nephew and our family. My name is Anna Trammell, and I am Timothy West Trammell's paternal aunt. My brother Timothy Wayne Trammell, now deceased since 2020, was Timmy's father. He was the last Trammell in the bloodline. I want to tell you a little bit about my nephew. He was kind and loving and also very humorous. He was much beloved in his circle of friends and family. I don't think anyone could ever say anything unkind about him because he was a truly beautiful person, both inside and out. Timmy has 3 young daughters who will forever miss him and be deprived of his presence in their young lives and the spirit of fun and adventure he brought to their lives. He will not get to see his daughters grow up and become adults. He will miss their birthdays, their graduations, their weddings, their first everythings, their children's births, etc., etc. He will be deprived of it all. Timmy's tragic loss will echo in their hearts forever as an empty space that can never be filled. Their daddy is gone forever. He was irreplaceable on so many levels. Losing Timmy has been absolutely devastating to his entire family, especially to his grieving mother, Michelle, and his 2 sisters, Rochelle and Nicole. It has impacted their lives in so many ways, I can't even begin to tell you. Timmy was a bright and shining light in the darkness, and everyone who knows him knows how true this is. He would go out of his way to help others, to counsel them when they needed it, to show love and kindness as only Timmy could do. He was always there for others, and especially when it really counted. He was the definition of a truly wonderful human being. And now he is gone from us forever, and what do we do without him? There is simply no replacing him. His mother has lost her only son, his daughters have lost their father, and his sisters and all the rest of his family and friends have lost such a vital part of our lives. We will mourn him forever. As to the defendant's guilt, that has already been established. I am asking the court today to hand down the maximum sentence that can be granted to this person who is solely responsible for my nephew Tim Trammell's untimely death. If he had not been under the influence of both alcohol and illegal drugs that night, our Timmy would still be with us all today, and I wouldn't be here with you giving this heart-wrenching statement about my nephew and his life here on earth. Suffice it to say that we are utterly grief-stricken by our family's devastating loss of our treasured family member. Timmy was a jewel in our family's crown. That is why I am asking the court to hand down its most severe sentence to the man who robbed us of our Timmy. It is my understanding that he is a repeat offender and sadly has not learned his lesson, and now he has taken a life, our Timmy's life, because of his addictions and extremely poor judgment. And so I beseech you today, please throw the book at him, Judge. He deserves no less. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Trammell.
Thank you.
Your Honor, next we have Michelle Trammell.
Yeah, you don't need to sit up here. You already did your time up here, I think.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, you can go ahead. Go ahead and tell us again who you are.
Michelle Travel. And I'm Tim's mom,
Go ahead.
obviously.
Yes.
I run victims impact statement, but I really wanted to speak from my heart that Tim deserves that more than AI helping me. When I got the, Officer Bowman knocked on my door and told me that my son was gone. And she said that he was killed by a drunk driver at the Zachary Lights. And when she told me that, I felt like that I died that day. 3 weeks before Tim died, we rode around together. We spent the last 3 weeks together. I would take him to the union home morning. And then after that, we ran around joking around. Tim has such a great sense of humor. And we had some big fun times. I'm grateful for those 3 weeks that we got to spend that long time together. I wanted to let the host know that Tim and I grew up together and we listened to the same music in the same era, and I was 18 years old when I got married and had him, and stayed married for 40 years. His father passed away in 2000. So Tim had a mother and father his whole life. Even though I got married very young, I believe in staying together. Scientists found that fetal cells in baby boys and their mothers decades after giving birth trace summer baby boys stay with her for years, sometimes forever. Tiny cells remain in her bloodstream, her organs, even her brain. That's why you feel him before he speaks. That's how you just know before he even tells you. It's not just maternal instinct, it's biology. It's more than magic, it's motherhood. You just don't carry your son for 9 months, you carry him forever. So I never thought that I would be making arrangements for Tim. It's the hardest thing I've ever done was calling the coroner's office and having his body taken to take the rest, home. Took it one day. Next day I was having his body cremated. No mother should ever have to do that. Zachary Hines just wipes Tim's existence right on the face of the earth. From a birth certificate to a death certificate is all I see these days. And Tim was also the last travel man in our family. With him gone, our last name dies with him. No more man to carry on the travel surname. It's gone forever. Tim had 3 daughters that he adored, Destiny, Willow, and Riley. All brown-haired, blue-eyed babies, just like their dad. They were the love of his life. He would take them camping, teach them how to work on motorcycles, ride side-by-sides, ride his quads, and he just spent every waking moment with his kids when he wasn't working building skyscrapers. I don't know if I addressed this before, that Tim built the Salesforce Tower. Skyscraper in San Francisco.
This is good. You mentioned that.
Okay,
Yeah.
the skyscraper on the West Coast. He was the best dad ever, and all they wanted was family. Now his girls will have their dad at proms, graduation, or walking down the aisle. When they get married again, Tim will never be able to see his first grandchild. That was all stolen for them. I'm so proud to be Tim's mom. He was so funny, hardworking, talented, and very handsome. When I talk about him, my face lights up with smiles and tears because he was that good of a man. And he has so many friends that loved him and still miss him every single day. And vacations aren't the same without him. He was the life of the party and just like a big piece of our lives that go on because we don't have We don't have Tim. And my life is not the same. I can't listen to the radio because our songs come on and it feels like I'm living his life and his death all over again. All I have is photos of one of my phones that I can't get into because I don't have the passwords. You see the videos, so that's lost to our family forever. Memories that are lost. And Your Honor, I need you to know one thing. Is that when I was here last time testifying, to record Zachary Hines looked me in my eyes the whole time, and he smiled on my face, and I was horrified. I couldn't believe that this insensitive person actually was looking in my face and smiling. It's unbearable. And he also looked the troopers in the faces while they testified as well, and he smiled. He is heartless, he's a coward, and he's a murderer.
Objection.
Because of this, I lost my home for 8 months. I had to choose between paying rent or putting all Tim's things in storage so I wouldn't lose them. And I chose his things and lived in my car with 4 dogs for 8 months. My heart is broken since Tim died. I have been in heart failure and I've had 4 heart attacks and several strokes and been hospitalized 3 times. And I asked my doctor, and he died of a broken heart. And she said he had CPAP. So I literally thought I would die. And he just wanted to die. And it won't live in a world without him. Here's a father, Zachary Hines, mom. Still gets to talk to her son on the phone, and I'll never get to talk to Tim on the phone again. To tell me happy birthday, Mom, I love you. I will never get his big hugs again. Those are gone forever. And in this thing every day, I respectfully ask the courts to give Zachary Hines the maximum sentence allowed by law. He made a choice to drink and drive, and because of that choice, our whole family will suffer for the rest of our lives. And the community should be safe from him. No family should ever have to go through what we've gone through. Yeah, grief is so strong for me, and her family is the poem online, and it says, I just beg for the grief to go away, but now I understand. That is the last piece of Tim I get to keep. It's the quiet moments, the sudden tears, the way my heart skips when I think it was loud. And the thread that ties me to him in a world that keeps moving without him, and I'll never let it go. Thank you, Your Honor, for listening to me. Speak for my Jimmy. I love you and listen, but I'll always be his mom. Thank you very much.
Thanks for being his mom.
Thank you.
Your Honor, Mr. Hines is entitled to a fair sentencing hearing. Dehumanizing language deprives him of that. It taints the proceeding. I ask the court to direct anybody speaking not to use language that dehumanizes the defendant.
Next, is there anybody else?
There's nobody else from the family that would like to speak.
All right.
The state recommends a high-end sentence, which is 102 months in custody plus the 24 months in custody impaired driving enhancement for a total of 126 months in custody, along with 18 months of community custody and all the conditions outlined in our sentencing memorandum. The state recommends this high-end sentence because the facts and circumstances of this case are more serious than your standard vehicular homicide. First, the defendant had a BAC that was nearly double the per se limit. There was also some evidence based on defendant's admission of fentanyl use. Second, at the time of the incident, the defendant was on court probation out of Mason County District Court for convictions of driving while under the influence and hit and run unattended vehicle. The incident date for that case was April 7, 2019. That case was also a drug and alcohol related DUI, as was this case. When the defendant committed this vehicular homicide, He was therefore in active violation of those Mason County conditions. Third,
Your Honor, I object to the court considering those facts which have not been proven at trial nor supported by any kind of pleadings.
So, Mr. Hogelbaum, you're concerned about someone using dehumanizing language in reference to someone who is alive, unlike the victim in this case, who is deceased. So I'm going to overrule that objection. I'm going to overrule this latest objection too. Go ahead.
third, the defendant ignored consequences of driving while under the influence. We know that he was familiar with these consequences based on his testimony and based on the prior conviction he had out of Mason County District Court. At trial, he testified that he agreed that alcohol causes loss of coordination and balance. He agreed that alcohol consumption causes vision issues, impairs judgment and thought processes, slows reaction time, and he agreed that driving while under the influence is not safe. But on the date that he killed Mr. Trammell, he drank alcohol anyway and decided to drive. Jail calls were also admitted into evidence where a defendant stated that he went to the Blazing Onion and had 4 Mac and Jacks and a Bud Light and drove anyway. That resulted in the death of Mr. Trammell. Based on these facts, the state does believe that a high-end sentence is appropriate. Thank you.
Mr. Hogelbaum.
Your Honor, I asked the court to make whatever appropriate findings the court will make, and I'll defer to the court regarding Mr. Hines' prior convictions.
Well, I was going to ask about that. I've been handed a stipulation, but it's not signed by the defense.
Correct.
Okay.
So I'll defer to the court. I don't wish to make any record beyond that, and I think there are probably records that the state has presented regarding that. As to Mr. Hines' sentencing, I would like the court to know that Monica Hines, his mother, is present in the gallery. We're asking the court to impose the low end of the standard range, whatever the court deems that number is, based on the factors contributing to this incident. And the court should know that nothing I can say can mitigate the unspeakable nature of this tragedy. Absolutely is tragic. Absolutely is tragic. There's nothing I can say that can change that. All I can do is represent my client and represent to the court that there are factors in Mr. Hines' life which mitigate his culpability somewhat. Mr. Hines has documented substance use disorder issues throughout his adult life. He has documented mental health issues throughout his adult life. He was a prior participant in mental health court and was successfully graduated that, which suggests not only, one, that there is an underlying mental health issue, and two, that given the opportunity, he can comply with conditions that the court imposes. I know there's been reference to Mr. Hines expressing what appears to be a smile at times. He is prescribed antipsychotic medication, which causes some uncontrollable facial movements. So I recognize that could be perceived as levity or something like that. That is not my understanding of what Mr. Hines has experienced.
Let me add, Mr. Hogelbaum, I sat through the trial and I've had the opportunity to view Mr. Hines face forward for several days. I acknowledge what Ms. Trammell said, and I can understand how it might appear as though there's someone on the other side of this equation who doesn't care. I do believe that there's probably a reason for that other than he doesn't care. So, Mr. Hogelbaum, I'm going to acknowledge that in my view, I haven't viewed Mr. Hines' demeanor here in court as anything other than appropriate. And so,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I have advised Mr. Hines. I've advised Mr. Hines of his right to allocute. I've advised him not to exercise that right, given the possibility of an appeal in this case. but I did want to express on his behalf his deepest condolences to the family and any of those affected by Mr. Trammell's untimely death.
Before I ask Mr. Hines if he heard what Mr. Hogaboam just told me, I'm going to ask about the criminal history that we're talking about here. It appears as though there are certified copies that are attached that support the prior offenses listed in the stipulation, which is not stipulated to. The DUI from Mason County 2020, the hit and run unattended, Mason County from 2020, same incident. And then the protection order violation, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor, and state would move to admit those certified copies. I do have an extra that I can present to the court for purposes of appeal. But we would be moving to admit the certified copy of the statement of defendant on plea of guilty and judgment and sentence for the 2020 DUI and hit and run attempt.
And I have received those, I've reviewed those documents, and Mr. Hogaboam indicated he did not wish to make a further record regarding them, other than he's not stipulating to criminal history, but it appears to me as though it's been proved up. And if you would submit that exhibit, that would
Thank you, Your Honor.
be appreciated. Okay, so any other record you wanted to make with regard to criminal history before I move to Mr. Hines?
Oh, no.
Okay. Mr. Hines, you heard Mr. Hogaboam tell me that you didn't want to testify or not testify, speak at this sentencing. You have the right to speak at the sentencing. You understand that? You're shaking your head, yes?
Yes.
Okay. You understand you can, you don't have to, and it's your choice not to.
That's my choice, not to.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, anything further, Mr. Hogaboam?
No, Your Honor, thank you for the court's time.
Well, let me start by saying, I have 3 kids of my own. I can't imagine burying one of them before me. I can't. Just had my first grandchild. I can't imagine not being around to see that having happened. I can't imagine. I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to do those things. I know that nothing in this life is guaranteed, even if we do everything right. Not that I have, but even if you have, things happen. Given the history that's involved in this case, I believe that the high-end sentence, 126 months, is appropriate, followed by 18 months of community custody. In my view, Mr. Hines being back out on the street anytime sooner than the maximum penalty puts everybody here in danger, and puts everybody who's on or frankly near the roadway in danger. So I think that the high-end sentence is the most appropriate sentence in this case. And I'm going to follow the recommendation of the state beyond that. If there's any claim for restitution, that'll be by later order of the court.
And Your Honor, Roman for the state, we are requesting a restitution hearing. We are requesting 9-2 or 9-3 in the morning, whichever works best for counsel.
I'll check my calendar, if the court has that available.
Full time is available.
Oh, thank you.
We do believe this conforms to the court's order, we're going to be having it to the defendant for review.
Plead guilty and then ask for the conviction.
And do we have copy of the thumb drive or something?
Yes, we
else?
do, and I can get that.
Other side?
Okay, that's gonna be marked as an exhibit too.
Sure.
And admitting both the thumb drive and the judgment sentence. And supporting documents.
Your Honor, I didn't inquire, state is seeking, crime victim assessment, DNA costs and criminal filing fees for a total of $800. Mr. Hines is represented at public expense, and I don't expect him to be, coming in into any money over the next 10 years or so, given his sentence. Would the court make a finding regarding Blazina?
I'm gonna find that Mr. Hines is not in a position to pay fines and costs other than those required and any restitution that might be coming.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Hines, you understand you've got the right to appeal this conviction. Your notice of appeal needs to be filed within 30 days of today. I imagine Mr. Hogaboom's gonna help you with that, and he's gonna get started, but, if he doesn't, you have to make sure that it gets filed, okay?
It's ready, I think.
Okay, good.
Your Honor, to that end, I have a motion and certificate for order of indigency and appointment of counsel on appeal. I'm gonna show that to the state, and then I'll present that to the court. Your Honor, may I approach?
Yep. Mr. Hogabom, I sign that order.
Thank you.
Yep.
It's in order. Your Honor, for the record, I've served on the state a notice of appeal to Court of Appeals. Wonderful. Okay, almost done.
Okay, Mr. Hines, I've signed all the paperwork associated with your judgment, sentence, and warrant of commitment. Please, good luck to you, sir. We'll be at recess for a couple of minutes while we get this courtroom transition.
Thank God.
All right. Part of that recess?
That's not it. Something there.
I'm doing the also motion, I'm not doing the others.
Oh,